don't let those people shame you. That's all I want to say. When you're like, are you really going for your dreams, or are you still going to work? Go to work, girl. Like, go to work. Pursue your dreams also. But like, you know, nobody's going to take care of you but you when you're a woman.
Also, you can be like highly spiritual and also successful and also, you know, unhinged sometimes, and also, right? We're dynamic human beings.
Yes.
Like I'm not trying to be in the woods like this all the time. I want to like bring a little bit of that energy in, and like also be my full crazy messy self. Like, where's the fun in life if you're only one way?
You are listening to the Say Something Serious podcast, a podcast about best friends and big topics. Thanks for joining.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
What a great way to start the day, or the mid-afternoon.
Absolutely.
I'm good. How are you?
I am so good. I am so excited to hear about... You can hear me?
Gotcha.
I'm so excited to hear about the new cult that you've joined.
I'm so excited to tell you. Okay, so honestly, I have to say, like, I'm eating my words. I'm eating my words that I said, I don't know, 6 weeks ago when we started this, when I was like, I don't have 6 hours a day to meditate. That's bullshit. Like, you don't need that. You know, I was kind of arguing, like, I don't believe in any of this because I don't believe I can do it. And I'm not willing to meditate.
Which is how I go about life, right? If it's not possible for me, then it's not possible.
That's right. So I'm kind of eating those words, but I think that's good, right? Like, if I went into it a little bit cynical, then maybe joining the cult was like not such a bad thing.
So just so everybody knows what we're talking about, Mindy, who has been a Joe Dispenza watcher, participator.
Yeah, like Dr. Joe Curious, we'll call it, right? Like, I was interested, but not sure.
Yeah, she was dipping her toe in the Dr. Dispenza life for a while now, and she just went to a weekend Dispenza retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And her life has been changed. She's now a totally new person. No, tell us. What happened? What happened?
All right. So quick recap for anyone who didn't listen to our first episode where we talked about this a little bit. We were talking about like energy work and kind of what brought me into it recently. And I think like the Joe Dispenza work was really what brought me into kind of like a broader awareness of life and feeling like there's more, and opening up the curiosity to that like more woo-woo side of myself. But I always had some like hesitation and feeling like, yeah, like sure, people can change their whole life or like cure illness, which is something that he talks about a lot. And I always felt like I don't have the time to do that. Like I don't have the time to meditate all these hours every day. And I think what I realized is that it doesn't really take that much time. It's more about commitment and consistency, right? Like showing up for yourself every day to practice some type of meditation or deeper self-connection just that alone can expand your awareness so much. What I will say though, is that I was never able to, on my own, get to the place where I got to at the weekend long retreat, which was cool as hell.
So
in my most spiritual language.
It was cool as hell. Bring us through the weekend? Like you start on a Friday, right? And you like just check in.
Yeah. So we flew into LA Friday morning. It was a little like Hunger Games crazy, like to get your seat. It was like, I'm like, these are spiritual people. Like, why are everybody's getting a little aggressive, right? Like, we all want to be finding peace. But aside from that, so we waited. They didn't have the setup totally perfect with like how you got into the event. So we waited in a line outside for like 2.5 hours. Then they opened the doors and you register. And then you're like outside of the theater for another 2 hours waiting for them to open the doors to the theater. And the seats are like first come, first serve. So like the energy, right? Like all these high energy people. The energy was so intense. It got a little like weird. I also, probably got a little weird. Like, I'm just like, it's weird when you're waiting and all that. There was
For 4 hours
5,400
is crazy.
5,400 people there. Like, that is what I'm talking about. Like, it was just like, oh my God, this is really overwhelming. Anyway, you get your seat in your section. You're good. We survived. No punches were thrown. And he just lectured on the Friday night. He like came out. I think the coolest thing for me was that he's like very rehearsed on all these podcasts. If you listen to Joe Dispenza, very rehearsed, right? Like someone asks him a question, he always gives the same long-winded answers. It's like the same, it's very redundant.
Yeah.
You can listen to all of them and they're pretty much all the same thing. Going to the retreat was totally different. He was like dancing, he was funny, he was cracking jokes. So it was like much less, I was kind of expecting it to be like a little uptight,
Yeah, he's very disciplined on message.
Yes.
In his interviews.
Yeah.
Like I did get that one. You had invited me to this retreat, and I had originally been like, like I don't really need to hear this interview for 19th time, because I do feel like every interview I see of him is very much like changing the brain. Like we have Joe Dispenza isms because we've listened to these speeches so many times.
Yeah.
Okay, so new content.
Exclusive
content.
And really a lot of like the research, because they're researching at University of San Diego or something. I don't even know, but they are doing a lot of research right now on what happens at the week-long retreats, like what's happening to people's proteins in their blood and their DNA, what's happening in their brains, what's happening in their gut microbiome. I mean, they're checking everything and they're seeing these amazing changes. So like you can't, all the stuff I didn't believe, I was seeing actual evidence. It's not like made up shit, So that was cool to be able to see that. And I think that's part of his thing, is that he like wants to show you like scientifically, this is what's actually happening, so that you're a little less cynical, right? Like open up your mind a little. You're laughing. What is it?
No, it's it's fine.
I drank the Kool-Aid.
I know. I believe him. But it's just like, and so it's real because he told you it was. And there were charts. So
there were charts, like definitely
that's
PowerPoints.
That's on God now, because there were charts and he showed them to me. So yes, okay. So the science is real.
Well, so the science is there and it's happening. I'm still feeling like, okay, but like I'm meeting people, right, who have been to other events and they're like, yeah, my aunt was blind and now she can see. And I'm like, okay.
Come on.
All right, girl. And there were 2 of them blind at that retreat, and now they both, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
That's wild.
And then, I don't know, but it's like, what do you do with that when people are telling you these things? And then other people that we met who have like, oh, it's changed my whole life, like everything. I'm a different person, right? Like I had all these chronic illnesses, and the young man sitting next to us was like, oh, I had a lot of chronic diseases and I'm completely healthy now. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know what to do with it, right? Like our minds aren't wired for that. But where he gets you to is like, what's the harm in believing that you could be better, that your life could be better, that you could be healthier? It's not, and he always says, once you start doing the work, it's not about curing the illness. It's actually about changing. And once you do that, you don't care anymore about the illness. And that's when it kind of, that's when people get these like moments, right? These healing moments. We were a short weekend. Go. What were you gonna?
Did you see any blue beings?
No, I was looking.
You were
looking. No, I didn't see any. So from what I hear is that they show up at the week long for the coherence healings.
That makes sense.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. Like, it's so much, but people don't really talk about it, It's so much. That we
Okay, so Friday night's over. You guys go to dinner. You wake up. How early? Is it in the middle of the night, or is that the week-long thing?
I think that's the week long, where it's like extra long hours. And because you're in your like theta brainwave state, they want you like open, right? Your subconscious open. There's a lot about learning about the brainwaves, but I'm not going to bore you with that because I'm not that good at it and it will just not be that interesting. But So we woke up at 4 a.m. because we were jet lagged, and we just went, and the doors opened at like 7:30. So we got to sit like right in the front, which was a cool experience. After the like, you know, the daily fight for your seat, hours of waiting. And then he teaches a lecture, and then he's like, great, you want to try it? Like, this is what this meditation is for. Let's try it. So you just meditate for an hour or some change and get a break and come back, lecture, meditate, get a break. The same thing. Like, it's just a lot of lessons and a lot of meditating in a huge full theater. Like, it was wild.
Was the energy different being with so many people at the same time, getting on that level?
Yeah, I felt like I dropped in like immediately. You know, he talks a lot about like going into the nothing, into the blackness, to the expansive, endless nothing. That's kind of what he talks about as a way to kind of pull your attention away from your daily life, your reality, your stressors, everything that you're worried about, and tune into this bigger experience of life and this field that's infinite and all around you. And I felt like that.
Like you were just in it.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you're like sitting to meditate and you're like, oh shit, I forgot to do that thing, or like I've got this appointment, and then you're like, oh, bring it back, right? Bring it back. And it takes some time. It was just like, boom, in.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that was Saturday. Lecture, meditation, lecture, meditation, lecture, meditation. You had your most profound experience on Sunday.
Yes.
What happened?
Although Saturday was cool too. Like Saturday, it was all amazing. It was all beautiful. It was all cool as hell. I don't know. Is that what I said at the beginning? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Sunday, they did like the breathwork piece. Have you ever done a breathwork exercise?
I've done exercises, but I've never done like an intense, you know, like some people like do it for an hour or something. I've never done that.
Yeah.
I've done like calm yourself down in 10 minutes breath work.
Oh, this is like get yourself amped. I don't know what it is. It's like I don't know. It's so crazy. He gives like tidbits of information about this online, right? Like this is the type of breath work. You're trying to like move your cerebrospinal fluid up your spine and like tap your pineal gland and hold it there. And you do it by like contracting your muscles while you pull the breath up and like tightening. And he doesn't talk a lot about it online. And I can understand why, because it's really hard to do, number one, even under the guidance of like him telling you exactly what to do. And also there's still a part of me that's like, am I just holding my breath and like lacking oxygen and feeling like I'm going to pass out? Like, I don't know if I would want to do this in my home alone.
Yeah. Safer to do it around others.
Sure. But like, maybe not, because they're all doing the same thing. Either way, I did have my most kind of profound experience after just like one song of doing that type of breath work. So like the pulling up the breath and kind of holding it up here and focusing your attention up here. And then like you let it go and then you pull up the breath. It's just, you know, you don't hold it for that long though. It's really not. It's just more about the like the tightening of the muscles and pulling up this energy.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to like free all
prana yoga. Is that the one?
Well, prana means breath. So
yeah, prana yoga. It's like an ancient Hindu practice. This like pulling
you're talking about like a kundalini
yoga.
Kundalini yoga.
That's basically what it is, right? It's the same concept.
Yeah, the rising of this like energy that we're holding in our root, right? He doesn't talk about it as like a root chakra. He talks about it as like an energy center because he stays away from that like religious type. But you know, our root is supposed to hold like our older stuff. Like it's a foundation of safety and security in your life. And a lot of your early experiences of life are kind of associated with being in that energy center. So you're kind of like freeing the energy, liberating it from that center and letting it rise up through your body. And it's cool. Like I keep using that same word. I can't think of anything else. Yeah, so you do it for a minute and I definitely felt like, okay, whoa, right? And then you go into meditation and he does his like guided meditation voice, which is kind of weird. Like if you listen to it, you're like, why is he like, you know? But he's trying to get you, he's trying to get you into like a trance-like state to get out of your mind. And it is, you get in it.
Works.
Works.
Right.
So I'm like, you know, in this meditation, in the nothing for all this time. And then all of a sudden it was like, I felt that liberation that he was talking about. Like I didn't feel it in the breath work. I felt it way after, like 45 minutes probably in the nothing, the just
you just had like a
meditative
burst.
space. It was like a burst of this energy that like flew up through my body and like out of my head. It was just like the most expansive feeling I've ever felt and the most connected feeling I've ever felt. I don't want to go into too much personal detail about like what came up, but I think I learned a lot in that moment and I can't explain it. I learned a lot in that like one moment.
You feel changed?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is
and that
your
lasted...
takeaway insight, if you don't mind sharing?
I have a couple. I think one is that like a lot of the things that we worry about from day to day and that we're thinking about from day to day are not as important as we feel like they are. Like I think I felt like I was able to put down a lot of worry. Like I've said before, I'm just like, my brain doesn't really lean as much towards depression as it does like worry. And I felt like I got this sense of like, oh, like you can put that down. That's not really helping you. And I really feel like I did. And I did not expect that. The other thing is that I realized, you know, like when we're little children and you come into the world, you really like feel worthy of what you need. You are hungry, you cry, you need a diaper change, you cry. Like you're asking for what you need because you know you need it and you believe you're worthy of it. Like that's how we come into the world. And over time, at some point, we learn to push those needs down, right? Like make yourself a little smaller, and it's not always a bad thing, right? You don't want to be self-centered your whole life. You want to learn how to be in relationship with others. But I think there are like good parts of us that we learn to put away over time to do well in society. And I think what I realize is that I don't know how to explain this. They're all still there. Like all those pieces of you that are like creative, maybe fun, maybe feeling like free. And this is coming from someone like I didn't live your average life. I lived a life that was like really filled with trauma, right? Like I don't know any other way to explain it.
Yep.
So like maybe your average person didn't have to like make themselves that small, but like there were really joyful pieces of me that I felt like got just like taken away, crushed, destroyed. I thought they were gone, you know? They were all still in there and they were like really excited to come up. Does that make sense? I'm like,
totally.
I know, like it sounds so cheesy, but like immediately I started writing and I was getting all these, I felt really creative and I felt like, and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't been able to write for years.
Yeah.
It felt liberating. I like liberating to these like parts of myself that were so scared for so long.
I took some notes when I talked to you right after it happened.
Yeah.
And one of the things you said that you kept saying to me is, it's all still in there. Like the essential self does not die. It is not banished. It is not crushed. It gets smaller and quieter, but you kept saying it's all still in there. Nothing is lost. Like you can be whole again. That's what you kept saying to me. And so I think that's what you're trying to get across here is that like,
yeah,
I think that we maybe life beats things out of us, that like we can no longer be the joyful or optimistic child that we once were, because life takes those pieces from us. And
Yeah.
what I kind of got from what you were trying to convey to me, like right after it happened, was that like they're buried, but they're not gone, and that like you had sort of unburied them.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah,
that
and it's so hard for me to put it into words because when I'm talking about it, I'm like re-feeling it again. I'm like I'm remembering that experience. But you said it so beautifully, and it gives me so much hope for therapy work, that I'm doing with my clients, and this feeling that we're broken, right? I think a lot of people come feeling broken and like they need to be fixed. And it just was like, that is not it. You just need to be found. You just need to like look in there. You're in there. I promise you.
that's so fascinating. It I've done a lot of reading and um contemplation on two separate concepts. One was the self, the essential self, the thing that like the Buddhists and the Hindus and the sages and the new age mystics are always trying go within, find the self, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of intellectualizing and um processing with the inner child, but never really saw those two as the same. But sort of what I hear or heard from your experience is that, like, I think I always thought that, like, man's quest for the self is like, it is the essential spiritual search of our lifetime, right?
Yeah.
I think I thought it was beyond, I guess, the inner child.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there is a stronger connection there, that like as a child, you are probably more in touch with the essential self. And so, more so than like reaching into the ether or into the darkness of the soul to find the essential self, like the inner child is a pathway there. It is
Yes.
a stop on the journey to the essential self. And I guess I kind of knew that, but I didn't ever really think about it that way. Like I thought I had to heal the inner child so I could find the self, as opposed to the inner child being a version of the essential self. Does that make sense? Is that a
A
word
hundred,
salad?
no, 100%. Yes. Yes. The inner child, the inner child was that like free version of yourself,
Yeah.
right? But like it just depends at what age did it start to like learn to become smaller and smaller and more rational and more focused and more, and a little bit less free. You still want to be rational and focused, right? We're adults, we have skills, but like you can still allow those parts of the space to come forward when the time is right and like be creative or playful or have fun or like put down that sense of, for me, it was fear that I was going to do something wrong or that like something stupid, whatever it was.
Like this idea that you start to get in trouble as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
like, and then you're learning, so ooh, that part of me is not good.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yes.
part of me was loud. That part of me had an outburst. That part of me did something wrong. And you start to, rather than just say, you don't have the cognitive ability, I think, at the time to say, like, this is contextual. And so you make it personal. Like, this part of me is wrong. Not, I can't be this in a classroom because the other students are trying to learn, but like, I shouldn't be like this in general.
Right. Like I can't be disruptive and really excited and like lively in the classroom, but I can like go to the playground and be that, or like go go play in the woods. Like we used to climb in trees when we were kids, right? Like it was a little different for us. Right. Just like, don't be that. Or like if it was happening at home, right? It was definitely don't be that here either. So that's hard. But yeah, the experience, I don't know how to explain it because it was like a version of me. It was this connection between this like higher knowledge and this like very scared parts. They were in conversation together. I'm aware of what that sounds like.
No, I get it.
This is, a lot of it sounds like internal family systems therapy, really.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
like
a lot of
Dick
IFS.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Yeah. And I like,
totally.
He's on to something. Because the kind of like more capital S self, in his words, was like to the really scared parts, like, don't worry, it's okay. You can come up now because you're safe and that person's not here anymore. Come on, come on, come on. And it was like,
yeah.
There was conversation happening between these like inner child parts and this self that knows the truth.
I love that.
Yeah.
I recently had a very profound spiritual experience.
Tell me.
Similar but different. I did mine on drugs. I did psilocybin and ended up passing out. And while I was passed out, had not the higher self, but a spirit, a faceless hooded spirit that I was not afraid of, give a similar message to a part of my inner child that had been very dissociated from the rest of my soul. There was a piece of me that believed that I was secretly bad. I don't think that's an uncommon phenomenon. I think that I've heard enough people sort of express that when they get right down into their
100%.
shadow work, is that there was some dark belief or deep belief that there was something fundamentally flawed about them and that their outer life was a mask of that flaw. And I had not been conscious prior to this experience that I had been carrying that around. I'd certainly, on a rational level, knew that I was a good person, that I was not evil, that I was not bad. I'm a good friend, a good partner, a good sister, a good daughter. Like I knew on a conscious level that I was not a bad person, which I think is what it's important to note in this, because it's not something that exists on a conscious level. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I am walking around on a daily basis like, ooh, I better smile at this person or they'll know that I'm evil. Like, it wasn't happening on a conscious level.
Most people are not aware that they carry any shame.
Yes.
And then you go there. Nobody wants to, right? Like, nobody wants to go there, but like, if you're going to do therapy, it's going to come up and you see. But like, a huge percentage of people are not aware. Right. And
I was not aware. I mean, yeah. I knew that I had shame about certain things, right? Like, I'm not healthy enough, or, some of my vices. Like, I had conscious level shame. Mm-hmm. But he did not know that I was carrying this pain, this dark entity in my soul that was hiding for 30 years because I had this fight with my sister, like at 7 years old, that I had hidden this, like I had threatened to hurt her. I didn't hurt her, but I threatened to. And I couldn't remember this incident. I did not have any, I've done a lot of therapy, hypnosis, shamanic healing, energy work. I've done it all. And I never accessed this specific memory before. But in my psilocybin assisted awakening with this entity that came to help me, maybe it was the higher self. It felt like an external, like a Genii Cucciati like figure to me, but you never really know when you have these experiences. Like what is, it's like the blue beings, right?
What happens for one happens differently for another. It doesn't, like, it's never going to look the same, right? Like, no one will go and have my experience or your experience. Of course it's different.
Yeah. My mom and I do believe, have you ever gone down the rabbit hole of past life regressions? I mean, not past life regressions, near-death experiences.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So many people that have near-death experiences see a spiritual entity that they would be the most comfortable with. My mom struggles with this because my mom has a broad array of spiritual beliefs. But when she had her near-death experience, she saw Jesus. Mm-hmm. Jesus was there. You cannot tell her that she did not see Jesus. You know?
I did not know your mom had a near-death experience. We're going to have to interview her.
Yes.
Sally?
She was really young. She was really young.
I didn't know this.
Like 4 years old.
Oh.
And she was with Jesus. But at that point, she was a little baby, going to Catholic church. And, that would have been the spirit that whatever the spirit was, he knew she would feel most comfortable if it looked like the Jesus that was on her wall, right?
That 100% makes sense. Yeah.
And I mean, this experience for me was fascinating because I was unaware. This is not a spirit that I had met before or studied before or seen on, my cards before, but if you told me before it happened that a faceless hooded spirit was going to come into my brain, I would have been like, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah. I'm signing up for no.
Yeah, I'd be like, check the no box on that. Like, no, thank you. But I was not afraid. I knew they were there to help me. I knew that they were upgrading my consciousness. I knew that they were healing me. I did not feel like they were trying to pull me onto the other side, which other, near-death experience people have talked about that. Like they felt like they wanted to go to the light. Like, like I knew I was coming back. I just was being worked on, much like they talk about the blue beings in the Joe Dispenza situation. Like I was being worked on. Just, I know we sound insane, but I swear to God, we are extremely competent people.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like you're talking about psilocybin. Now, I'm a therapist. I can't get into this field. My brain can't, like the psilocybin research and all of that, even MDMA and ayahuasca, whatever they're doing. There's a lot of research happening now, legit research, right? Ketamine, into how this is like, these modalities are what can actually bring people to a breakthrough in their like deepest, darkest depression. So it's not like, we both sound like completely insane, I'm sure, but like this is actually helping people. So whether it's like a little hooded cutie or like, my little baby self and myself up here, it doesn't matter, right? It's our consciousness and whatever is around us working through whatever we need to process. But like this is turning into a legit field in like psychiatric treatment now.
Yeah.
Because our lives don't allow us the space and time really to go inward and like figure this stuff out with the intensity that you really need to. And it's just something that can help get you there. Right?
Yeah.
And like I could never work in that, but I respect that it's happening, and I respect that you choose to do it, and look what it helped you. I found a different path for me. You've got a different path for you. There are people who swear by this work and really respected people. This is not Like,
yeah, it's not
this is
fringe
not old
anymore.
news anymore. Now it's like you go get yourself a ketamine therapist and do it, right?
Totally. And I would say, yeah, like if you can find an expert, a healthcare provider that can take you safely through a journey like this, I would recommend it. Like what happened to me.
I was a little mad at you.
Yeah, what
I
happened
was a
to
little mad
me
at you.
was dangerous. There were physical consequences to passing out. My heart took weeks to regulate. My blood pressure took weeks to regulate. Like, I don't recommend that people do what I did without medical supervision. But regardless, I mean, I made the choice and I got the results I was looking for.
And then some.
And then some.
Little hooded cutie.
Yeah, now I have a whole new spirit guide. So I'm excited about that. Should we pull some cards and just see like if there's something we should explore here?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm
gonna use the
I did not,
Rebecca
by the way.
Campbell Starseed Oracle because it feels like the right one.
Okay.
For a conversation like this.
I am really curious while you flip, like what other people's experiences were like in that retreat. You know, like I took off my mask from that meditation and I was like bawling, crying. And my friend who was there with me, we were like hugging each other and just laughing and crying and laughing and crying. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm like love bombing my family, like texting, like, oh my God, I can't believe how much I love you. Right? It was like such
Yeah.
But then I'm like walking down the hall and I was like, oh my God, I'm as red as a beet and like no one's crying. Everybody looks like they just had a normal meditation.
I know.
But I'm sure people had transformational experiences, but just something. I'm so curious what it was like for everyone.
All right. So I got baby steps, action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. I think that's interesting because you were making content today about learning to take action and to like reinforce your goals with small action.
Yeah.
So that's
small, consistent action.
An interesting
How
thing
funny.
to sort of come up here.
That's really cute.
And this card says you're part of a team of souls. You have a star family. Call in support. So I think you know what I'm taking this to mean?
Tell me.
That we are tempted to downplay our belief in our spirit guides because it makes us feel more legit to say like, oh, maybe it was the higher self, maybe it was the consciousness, whatever. I think they want me to come clean. I believe in a soul family. I believe in spirit guides. I believe we are living with a team of souls in other sort of dimensional spaces that help us to evolve and accomplish our dreams on Earth. And so I'm coming clean about that. But I don't think it was maybe the higher self. I think it was the Gene Kukliati, and I think I was visited by a demigod in my mind. So This one is I Remember, Soul Plan, the fated versus the destiny life. Should we read it?
Yeah.
There was a moment before you were born when you chose the conditions of the life you're living right now. When you plotted out these exact moments along the timeline of your life. We live in a world of free will, and therefore these moments become our destiny only through saying yes. The fated life is the one we were born into. The destiny life is the one our soul chooses, and it takes courage and faith. If you pull this card, it's because you're likely now face to face with the choice to follow the destiny life over the fated life. To trust the path your soul is calling you toward, and to remember that this moment was prearranged on your life's timeline. You may find yourself at a crossroads, at a moment when you're being called to make a decision, to keep walking the perfectly laid out path before you, or choose the one less traveled. You may be facing a change of career, a new relationship, a difficult decision, or something else that requires courage and faith. You're being invited to remember your soul's greater plan and to surrender to it. When you're confronted with a path that's undefined, it's normal for doubt or to rear its head. In fact, this is a certain sign that you're facing your soul's greater plan. Every hero in his or her life journey comes eye to eye with doubt. The only way around it is through, and it's all part of a larger plan.
I really just sent you like a blip of a podcast that talked about exactly that.
Oh,
and talking about like the doubt, right? It's inevitable. You're comfortable in your predictable life, right? Like, you know what's coming, you're good, you're happy. But like, if there's something calling for you and you want more, you're going to face doubt, right? It's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to have to push yourself to do something where you don't know what the outcome is going to be. The only way to deal with that is be aware, right? This is doubt. Okay, I'm going to keep going anyway because I trust that I can handle whatever's on the other side, whether it's success or failure. Failure is just a stepping stone to the next attempt at success, right? Like everybody fails. Everybody slips. It doesn't always work out the way you want it to. But cute. Yeah, you should listen to it.
Oh, safety is so looming in these conversations. And I feel like, if I may, get on my feminist bullshit for a minute. Always.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. Always a more present situation for women. Like, so much spiritual advice is written by men. And it's not applicable to women. And it's specifically not applicable to mothers. And I don't doubt it. Like, I agree. Like, sometimes you just got to go for it. But like, you also, I just always want to put that plug in there. Like, you do have to balance it. When you are in charge of a life other than your own, when your physical safety and survival is not insured in all conditions, the risks that you can take are somewhat limited. And I just feel like it's important to put that context. Like, so many of these spiritual gurus are like, anyway, I just went and I gave up all my possessions and I couch surfed, and then I really went for my dreams and I let go of all doubt, and then I failed and I ate ramen for 2 weeks, and like, then you find out they had a kid the whole time.
They had like 3 kids and their wife was at home.
Yeah. And it's like, well, it's easy for you to say. You know what I mean? Like, you do need a safety plan, especially if you're a woman. I cannot couch surf. I cannot sleep on the streets and not be assaulted and have terrible things happen to me. I cannot, as a mother, not that I am one, but if I were, just sell all my possessions and go into the woods and meditate for 4 years. I mean, a lot of these people that write these books about enlightenment are completely not acknowledging that somebody's taking care of their kids. Somebody else is making a responsible decision so that they can make an irresponsible one. And, I believe in your dreams. I believe in our dreams. I think we should go for them. But there's a reason why we are doing this at almost 40 and didn't do it at 25, like so many of these people, these gurus that you listen to did. And that's because we had to create a foundation of safety for ourselves in order to go in this direction now.
Yeah.
And I just want to acknowledge that. So if you're, don't let those people shame you. That's all I want to say. When you're like, are you really going for your dreams, or are you still going to work? Go to work, girl. Like, go to work. Pursue your dreams also. But like, you know, nobody's going to take care of you but you when you're a woman.
Also, you can be like highly spiritual and also successful and also, you know, unhinged sometimes, and also, right, we're dynamic human beings.
Yes.
Like I'm not trying to be in the woods like this all the time. I want to like bring a little bit of that energy in, and like also be my full crazy messy self. Like, where's the fun in life if you're only one way?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like even the cards, you get all these messages about like, throw caution to the wind. And you know what I mean? Pursue your destiny. And it's like, well, you know, my cat needs dinner at 5. I don't know. And he's very upset if he doesn't get it. I can't just leave Merlin out here and, you know,
right. You
go
can't
live on the mountain.
Fully in the spiritual world, right?
Right.
We're still here in the real world, right? Like, we're living and we're, touching on these other experiences, but like, we're in life.
Yeah. Yeah. And you gotta stay there on some level.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna be, you know, I guess, I don't know. That's why I get like real kind of grifty and MLM vibes from a lot of people that like choose 100% spiritual paths. Because at some point on their path, they realize like it's really cold if you don't have heat in your house. You know what I mean? And then they have to find a way to capitalize on their spirituality. And you can feel that desperation sometimes when you encounter these people. Like, even like the YouTube gurus. It's like, you join my channel and I'll tell you exactly who your soulmate is and what color hair he has. And it's like, girl, no, you can't. But I understand you need money.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like, I actually interacted with this person a couple weeks ago. I went for an x-ray on my foot because I had a broken toe. And this man was the x-ray technician, right? And I felt like, oh, he's like, whatever it is, whatever this energy is that he's got, like, he's got it. Like, you know, you kind of meet someone who seems like they're a little bit enlightened or something.
Yes. My
I was like oh,
that.
yeah.
Hello.
But it wasn't even that energy. It was like, he was so happy to be there. He was so happy to be taking that damn x-ray, and I just wanted to tell him, like, your energy is giving me everything right now. Like, thank you, because I've been waiting in this hospital, right, for an hour for you to call me. And like, just thank you for being you. Like, that's something, right? Yeah. You're in this job where you're like in and out and people are in a bad mood and it's a little bit chaotic and you're in a basement, like, and you are the happiest person I've seen in the last 3 years. You got it.
You got something.
It. Yes. Yeah. And I want some of that. Like, that to me is enlightenment.
Yes.
Not like whatever it is. I was like, you are spreading joy. Thank you. Like, love being here.
Being able to like live in this world and still live at a high vibration.
Yeah.
Is a part of the goal. Mm-hmm. This is so funny because I'm pulling these cards and they're just like, Erin, you're a hater.
Stop talking shit about the spiritual
Stop
community.
talking shit about following your dreams, because the cards are give birth to your dreams and nurture yourself. Your life is beginning a new phase. You have heightened psychic abilities. Your wishes will come true. All your concerns will fade away and you are going to love your life because you've come into your own. Jesus Christ. All right. Well,
that's what your mom saw.
Merlin is going to have to learn to open his own cans. That's all I have to say about that.
Oh, Merlin. He can come live at my house.
Coming into her own. And
listen, you can still follow your dreams and be in reality. I will argue on behalf of the cards. They are right. You can still feed the cat and follow your dreams. You can have it all. That's what they tell us, right?
Yeah.
You can have it all.
And like your profound insight which was they want you to feel like it's such a high bar. But once you get it, you can drop into that state in 10 minutes. You don't need to meditate for 6 hours a day to access that part of yourself.
And I think for me, right, like I'm like, oh, I wasn't able to get there until I went to the retreat. But for me, it wasn't about the breath work, the amount of meditation, whatever. It was more about overcoming the belief that I couldn't do it. You know?
That's what all the charts are for.
That's what all the charts are for, and all the research. Like, give me all the research, and I'll open my mind. But like, he wrote a book called "Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself," and your sister bought it. And I used to argue. I'm like, I don't like that. Like, I'm a therapist. Breaking the habit of being yourself seems like a little self-hate. You know, like, I love myself. I don't want to hate myself. I don't want to overcome. I don't want to be someone different. Right? I always would argue that with Kelly. And what I realized in that retreat was it's not about breaking the habit of being yourself. Not for me, right, in this moment. It was about breaking the habit of not being yourself. Overcoming the habit of not allowing yourself to really fully be there. For me, that was a profound like shift in how I viewed it, and then was able to say like, okay, I'm able to put all this shit down. That doesn't matter. That's not who I am. Let me up.
Like breaking the habit of the persona so you can be yourself.
Yes.
Joe, we'd like to talk to you about the title.
Dr. Joe, call me.
Doctor, what did
we want to interview you.
Yes, we would love to interview you. Are we going to ask Carrie to come on and tell us about her experience next week?
Yeah. I want to hear, like, we didn't even get to talk that much because, right, we had our eyes closed or we're watching the presentations most of the time. We have to have Carrie come on. And, yes, we decided that we're going to call ourselves Spenzas.
I like
that was Carrie's idea. Dispensas?
Like, you know, like
Dispensas? Like Dispensas. Yeah, I like it. You just took it to the next level, Erin. Thank you.
I'm in branding.
We're not like, I don't know if we're fully there yet, but there were a lot of them there.
Like people that go over and over again.
I met someone who was like, oh, I've been to 11 retreats. Like, I'm good now. Or like 12. I'm like,
those are the people that
it's
were
amazing.
blind.
Maybe. You never know. This was fun.
This was amazing. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your experiences.
Thank you for sharing yours. I didn't think you were going to. That was a nice little treat.
Yes, well, the cards are calling me out hard today.
Believe in yourself, girl. You can have your dreams and feed the cat.
You can
do it.
You can too.
And I will. I love you.
I love you too. Talk to you soon.
Have a good afternoon. Bye.
Hi guys, I just want to pop on here and remind you that this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. We do not guarantee the accuracy of the information, although we try to be as up to date and as accurate as possible. Please do not take anything we say as medical advice, and please consult a professional before you make any medical, psychological, financial decisions. We are not giving financial, medical, or mental health advice here, so please check with your providers, and thank you for listening.